In the 2026 World Cup, some teams will play just 4 matches and go home. Others will play 7 and lift the trophy. Same tournament, wildly different experiences. And no, it's not rigged, it's just the most chaotic format change in World Cup history. Let me explain how this actually works, because even FIFA struggled to make it make sense. So here's the deal. The World Cup is expanding from 32 teams to 48. Sounds great for inclusivity, right? More countries, more dreams, more underdog stories. But there's a problem. When you add 16 extra teams to a knockout tournament, the math gets messy, really messy. Let's start with the group stage, because this is where everything goes sideways. Instead of 8 groups of 4 like we've had since 1998, the 2026 World Cup will have 16 groups of 3. Yes, 3, not 4, 3, which means each team only plays 2 group stage matches instead of 3. Already, we're seeing fewer guaranteed games for some teams. Now, in the old format, the top 2 teams from each group advanced. Simple, clean. 16 teams move on, 16 go home. But with 16 groups of 3, if only the top 2 advanced, you'd have 32 teams in the knockouts, which sounds fine until you realize the knockout rounds need to be a clean bracket, 16, 8, 4, 2, 1, not 32. So, FIFA did something wild. They're taking the top team from all 16 groups, plus the 16 best third-place teams. Wait, what? Third-place teams? Yeah, that's 32 teams advancing out of 48. 2/3 of the tournament makes it through. Participation trophy energy, honestly. Here's where it gets interesting. Because of this structure, some teams are guaranteed to play exactly 4 matches total, 2 in the group stage, 1 in the round of 32, and then they're eliminated. 4 and done. But the team that wins the whole thing, they play 2 group stage matches, then 5 knockout matches. That's 7 total. 7 matches to become world champion. Let me put that in perspective. In every World Cup from 1998 to 2022, every team played at least 3 group stage games. Winners played 7 total. Everyone had the same baseline. Now, a team could theoretically win their group, lose in the round of 32, and only play 3 matches at a World Cup. 3! That's fewer than they used to get just for showing up. In theory, this creates more excitement, more knockouts, higher stakes earlier, more drama. In practice, it creates absurd scenarios where a team like Brazil could dominate their group, face a nightmare round of 32 draw, lose, and play the same number of matches as a team that finished dead last in their group in the old format. And it gets weirder. Because there are 16 groups, but only 8 stadiums can host matches on any given day, the schedule becomes this Tetris nightmare. Some teams will have 4 days rest between matches, others will have 2. Some will travel 3,000 miles between games, others will stay put. The competitive balance is just gone. Now let's talk about the round of 32, because this is the part that sounds cool, but is actually kind of broken. The knockout bracket is structured so that group winners are supposed to face third-place teams in the first knockout round. Reward for winning your group, right? But because there are 16 third-place teams and they're ranked by overall performance, the matchups get weird. The best third-place team might actually be better than several group winners. You could win your group and immediately draw a harder opponent than a team that finished second in the old format. This sounds simple. It isn't. FIFA tried to balance the bracket so teams from the same group can't meet again until the semifinals. Noble idea. But with 16 groups and regional considerations for travel, the bracket ends up looking like someone sneezed on a spreadsheet. Here's the kicker. A team that scrapes through as the 16th best third-place finisher wins 1 knockout match by penalty kicks and then gets blown out in the round of 16 will have played 4 matches. A team that wins every single game, destroys opponents, and lifts the trophy will have played 7. The gap between mediocrity and immortality is just 3 extra matches. You know what's wild? The team that finishes runner-up also plays 7 matches, same as the champion. But one gets a trophy and eternal glory, the other gets a silver medal and therapy. Let's compare this to the old system for a second.
Under the 32-team format, a team needed to survive 3 group matches just to see the knockouts. Then, 4 more knockout wins to become champion. 7 total, sure, but with a much clearer structure. You knew exactly what you were getting. Now, the path is so variable that 2 teams in the same tournament could have completely different World Cup experiences despite both making it to, say, the quarterfinals. And here's something nobody's talking about: fitness. Historically, teams that go deep in the World Cup are absolutely gassed by the final. 7 matches in a month is brutal. Now, some teams will play 7 matches over 5 weeks with inconsistent rest. Others play 4 and go home fresh. The physical toll is uneven in a way it's never been before. Oh, and one more thing. Groups of 3 create a massive tactical problem. The last round of group matches won't kick off simultaneously because there are only 2 matches per group. That means one match finishes before the other, and the second set of teams knows exactly what result they need. Collision potential is off the charts. FIFA says they've accounted for this. We'll see. So, why did FIFA do this? Money, mostly. More matches means more ticket sales, more broadcast revenue, more sponsorship deals. 48 teams means more countries invested in the tournament, more fan bases tuning in, more global engagement. It's a business decision dressed up as inclusion. But the result is a tournament where the floor is 4 matches and the ceiling is 7, where some teams will feel like they barely showed up and others will feel like they ran a marathon, where the structure rewards survival as much as dominance. Same trophy, same dream, completely different roads to get there. If you made it this far, you now understand the 2026 World Cup format better than most commentators will when it kicks off. And if you want more stuff like this, where we actually explain the chaos instead of just reporting it, subscribe, because this tournament is going to be beautifully confusing, and someone needs to make sense of it.